Good evening, welcome back to the Chit Chat session. So, I am in my pajama, getting ready for bed, and I just quickly want to say to you guys the importance of learning how to cook. Now, I would say this video is more for exchange student, international student, or any of you that are about to go away from home for work or for studies, or for any sort of like commitment in life that makes you having to live away from your parents. And I have had that experience for the last 12 years of my life. So I've been living alone by myself for the last 12 years. Obviously I've been living with other people, or I had my cousin at some point supporting me in life, but that still means that I've got to be on my own and away from the people that are actually willing to take care of myself. And at one point I remember saying to my mum, I don't need to cook, I don't need to learn how to cook, because it is 20 something, and all the food is actually in the restaurant or is on the app where you can just press a button and it get delivered straight to your door. And I remember, because I come from Vietnam, and the culture is that if you're a girl, you need to learn how to cook, otherwise your mother-in-law is not going to be happy. And I remember having this conversation with my mum, and it goes like, my mum was saying, if you can't cook, your mother-in-law is not going to be happy. She's not going to let you marry her son. And I said to her, if she want to eat, she got to cook. I'm not going to cook for her. I might learn how to cook, but that is for my children. I'm not cooking for my husband. If he needs to eat, he needs to cook. I said that, and my mum wasn't really happy. I need to teach myself how to cook certain dishes, because Vietnamese food is all about that food. It's so tasty, it's so flavorsome. That was one of the reasons why I had to learn how to cook. Second thing is, when I come to fitness and when I decided to actually take fitness more seriously, I've got to make my own food, because that is how I get to know the ingredients that was put into the food, and I can actually do my calories and do my macros right. That's how I actually get to the point where I needed to learn how to cook. And the fact that I teach myself how to cook, I use online videos, or I use recipe that I found on Google to teach myself to eventually make a dish of dream. The more I practice, the more I fail, the better I become. So now that I know how to cook Italian food, I know how to cook English food, I know how to cook Vietnamese food, I cook some of the Chinese food, and sometimes I do sushi as well, trying to learn how to cook noodles in terms of like Japanese cuisine as well. So I think learning how to cook is important, because not only that you know where your food comes from, you know the exact ingredients if you do need to calculate your calories or calculate your macros. And the third thing is that if you like something and you want to make it in bulk to just serve yourself and treat yourself, you can. And the fourth thing is that you can impress your family members when you do eventually come home. Next thing is, if you do have a family for yourself, if you do have children or your husband, and you feel like you care for them and you want them to be fed with the right kind of food, and still the food still stay nice, then you can actively do that for your partner and for your children without having to rely on other sources. Now, I do understand that there are people that can afford to just order healthy food from the services or things like that. But you've got to understand that knowing exactly what has been put into your food is very important. You might not rely on the reputation of the company to know what ingredients or what's said on the label is actually right. However, as long as you're not the person that make the food, there is no 100% guarantee that what's been said on the label is actually 100% true. So be smart, cook your own food, on, show me your dish.